Alright guys, it's York Gliscors here, bringing you the UAPB Season 2 draft analysis. This is a little bit overdue, but I haven't really gotten time to record it with everything going on. We only have 2 more weeks left of our band season, and then we'll finally get back in the swing of things. I believe Ultra Sun and Moon comes out around then. Don't really know if I'm getting it yet though, just because, we just got Sun and Moon, now they're Ultra Sun and Moon. I didn't get Black and White too after Black and White came out. So I'm just interested to see when the changes of the metagame for that really comes out. You can let me know your thoughts of the game down below. A lot of new mons coming out, new features. Maybe it is better, maybe I'm missing out, maybe I don't see what's going on. But anyways, let's break down what we have here. My first round draft pick, I believe I got it 3rd or 4th overall. I don't really remember my draft pick number. Maybe I wasn't even 3rd or 4th. But we do have Karen B, which is one of my favorite Pokemon just because of its, I like the typing Dragon and Ice, although it doesn't have a solid Ice type move. Like, physically wise, outside of Free Shock. I still feel like it puts in a lot of work on the special side. Also can be pretty bulky with 125 HP, 100 defense, 90 Spit F. 95 speed allows it to be a solid Scarfer. Plus also outspeed a lot of things that are below it. Allowing it to put in good work of a Z user, which is why it is my Z captain. Also feel like it can just destroy through teams with like a sub-toxic roost set, sub-ice beam roost. That's definitely a solid set it can run. Doesn't really have any stat increasing moves outside of Home Claws. Can be a rest set. Like I said, it gets toxic. There's not really much else I can do with this mon. I mean, it does get light screen and reflect. But dual screens Kieran B is obviously not what I wanted to use it for. I want to use it for its Fusion Bolt, its Ice Beam, its Outrage, pretty much everything that makes it somewhat decent of a mon. I really like this Pokemon just because of those key features. Finding the perfect set for it is going to be kind of hard because of all of its coverage moves like Earth Power, Fusion, Focus Blast, Flash Cannon, Dragon coverage move, Ice Beam, Iron Head, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt. It just has so much coverage that finding the perfect coverage for the entire team, if I do want to run it Scarfed, is going to be something I need to do. This is actually one of the mons that I used in the NDLS. Not saying it was the only reason I got to the playoffs, but it definitely had a key factor in it being my highest kill leader on the team and being able to run through certain teams, barring hacks with its Ice Beam. It was able to put in a lot of work. Next up, we have another mon that we used in the NDLS, Doug Trio. Arena Trap was recently banned in OU during the amount of use that it got because it took care of Magirna, which is banned in the UAPB though. It also took care of things like Heatran and other opposing fire and steel types that might threaten my team, especially things like Tangrowth and Aerodactyl. So Arena Trap is allowed to be used in this, and hopefully I can use it to my advantage, especially to take out faster electric types with maybe a Focus Sash or something. Its attack stat is pretty incredible. It also has kind of a low HP and bulk stat, so I probably won't use it for anything like that, but it can also be used for like toxicing things, Memento to set up potential like sweeps with maybe like a Sub-Kyurem or Tail Glow Circuitry, maybe like Nasty Plot Salazzle, but we'll get into all those options later. I still feel like this mon has a lot of use to it. Being able to trap things like Mega Charizard X. Not sure if it was drafted, but it can stop that thing from getting a little out of hand with the Focus Sash and then an Earthquake, knock it out. It can also be banded and just do a lot of damage with Earthquake, Stone Edge, Sucker Punch, anything like that. Shadow Claw allows you to hit other things like Mew that could potentially try to wall this thing. Other than that, I don't see an item that I can use. I'm still trying to figure out what item it is that it can stop people from trapping it in. I really cannot think of the name of it. It's like, I don't know. I've already recorded this video once, but I had audio issues, so I couldn't like use that. But I still cannot figure out the name of that item. Alright, so I figured out the name of it. It's actually called the Shed Shell, which I should have remembered because I used it on a Scar Murray to beat Magna Zones, as well as being able to switch out with Toxapex on Dugtrios. But yeah, it's called the Shed Shell. And it'll force people to have to run it because, like, their fire type that's so important to the team that they need to beat Tangrowth. They won't be able to run a Life Orb, they won't be able to run a Z move, or they'll unfortunately have to get trapped by Dugtrio. Also, if they do use their Z move, then we can find out that, hey, they don't have a Shed Shell, and Dugtrio can come in and trap them. Dugtrio doesn't really have any use for any other item outside of Banded, Scarfed, or Focus Sash, just because it doesn't really get any much uses. There's no reason to run it special at all, unless I want to try to beat a Tapu Bulu with Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave of the sort. There's really no other reason other than that to try to use special. It's horribly specially versed. Maybe I'll bring some heat if I get the chance to Sludge Bomb a Tapu Bulu, but that's pretty much the only thing I can think of ever trying to run specially on this thing. Next up, we do a Primarina, which is incredibly specially. It has solid speed for a Scarf. Will let us outspeed, I believe, up to base 102s? 10 some. I know it outspeeds base 100s. That's the most important thing with a Scarf. Is very solid bulky wise. Could also be good with the AV because it gets things like Blizzard, Moonblast, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Scald. Can also get Aqua Jet if I need some sort of priority on the team, since I don't have anything outside of Hitmontop's Bullet Punch and Mach Punch. And that's it. I think that's all I have for priority. This mon can also be good for just Specs damage. Specs Scald doesn't really have a switch in outside of a really bulky grass type. But other than that, like, not much is going to want to take it, especially with it potentially giving a burnout. Mega Venusaur can try to come in and take it, but then if he gets burnt, he loses damage from Earthquake, Knockoff, and that's kind of unfortunate. But how we use this mon will be depending on the rest of the team. It does have a lot of versatility with its move pool, and I'm definitely really interested in using this mon. We did get to use it in the IBA, which is good for us because we got to test it out a bit and see what it's like, because some of these mons I've never used before and some I am, so it's good that I have some sort of background on this Pokemon. Next up we have Tangrowth, which is something I've never used outside of OU metagame, but obviously the OU metagame has nothing to do with league-based counter teaming kind of thing, because the standard OU set is not going to win you a league match. But this thing is solid defensively, 125 defense, 100 HP, 50 special defense, which can be kind of compensated for an AV to maybe take, if we run max special defense and an AV, we can take at least one Fire Blast from Volcarona. I mean, that might be actually a +1 Fire Blast from Volcarona. I'm not entirely sure on that calc itself, but if we ever need it, we can run that. We also do maybe get Choice Banded, Choice Specs, something. It does have really good attack and special attack. Not the best speed tier, but I mean, it's something you can try to do. Outspeeds things like Donphan, maybe. I don't even know Donphan's max speed. Yeah, we can speed side with Donphan, try to speed creep that thing, and get some good Giga Drains off on that. There are a lot of slow mons. We can HP fire things like Ferrothorn, pick off a lot of slower mons in it. Speed tying with Chansey, getting to knock off its Eviolite, because I know someone did draft Chansey. We also can try to outspeed base, I want to say 90s with the Choice Scarf. I'm not too good on calcs, like knowing calcs off the top of my head like that, like speed tier wise, so don't take my word for it. we can get to 218 times 1.5 is like 436, I believe, if my math is correct. 436, which does us outspeed. Um, let's actually boost the speed of this thing. 436 lets us outspeed a 150 at max speed, non-speed boosting nature. With speed boosting nature, we don't outspeed base 150. So yeah, we kind of outspeed at least up to 148, which is actually kind of cool because we can HP ice things like Landorus before it gets to attack us. We can also HP fire Kartana, do a lot of things actually. Now that I actually looked at that, we do have things like Synthesis and Morning Sun to recover, Pain Split. I mean, if we're running AV, we don't really get that opportunity. We have Swords Dance for setup. We don't get any special setup, but Swords Dance is always there for a knockoff. Earthquake, Brick Break, Bullet Seed. We do have Seed Bomb, Rock Slide. There's just a lot of versatility on this mon, and it's something I'm not so good with myself. I'm not a fan of versatility. I mean, it's not that I'm not a fan of versatility. It's more of that I like a mon that I just use the same couple moves on and it works. Like Crobat last season put in so much work for me because I only ran Defog, Roost, U-Turn, and then that fourth move that just fit the situation at hand. And it worked every time, just as long as I EV'd it properly and all that other stuff. But now with the mon like Tangrowth and Primarina and other stuff like that, I have to make sure that everything works out in order to handle every single situation, because Tangrowth is going to be a solid switch into a lot of things on my team, like earthquakes and water attacks. So this thing has to be prepped for a lot of things that the opposing team has. But next up we do have Yuxi, which is a solid defensive mon and attacking mon at the same time. Has really good bulk and attacking capabilities. 95 speed, lets hit the same kind of speed as Kieran B. Does get things like Calm Mind, Knockoff, Magic Coat. It does get Stealth Rocks of its own, which is kind of nice. Substitute, Sub Calm Mind would actually be pretty interesting on this. It does get U-Turn, which will let us get into things like Hitmontop to Rapid Spin, Posing Rocks away. We also can U-Turn into Aerodactyl to defog. So this thing, I also forgot to mention the Doug Trio gets Stealth Rocks as well. So we do have 2 Stealth Rockers on the team as of the 5th pick in the draft, which is kind of cool to have just because Stealth Rocks are always a nice thing to have up to deal with opposing like Charizards, Talonflames, Volcaronas, things that get hit pretty hard by Stealth Rocks, and then being able to shuffle the opposing team around with, don't think we get Dragon Tail. We do get it on Kyurem, which might be something we can try. Don't know if anything else gets Roar on the team, but maybe we can try to incorporate some way to do that. This thing is really good on the physical side as well as the special side, which will make our opponent have to figure out maybe if they have like a Toxapex, if they should make it physically defensive or specially defensive. Maybe we could just bring both just to be safe. We can bring Psychic and Psycho Cut, or does it not get any physical Psychic moves? I think it's Zen Headbutt. Alright, so that's kind of nice. 95 speed, as we said with Kieran B, is really good for Scarfs. As we figured out that a base 50 mon can outspeed 148. So, with a Choice Scarf, that this thing can probably outspeed a lot more. But we can try to use that for the best of our ability, as well as getting Levitate to not get hurt by Earthquake a lot, because you can kind of see later in the draft we did kind of draft things that get hurt by Earthquake a lot, or ground type moves in general. So hopefully mon like this can compensate for that. Next up we do have Hitmontop, mon that was a key part of our success last season. Of course, only our success in the last couple of weeks, because we did struggle a lot in the first couple matches, the first 6 I believe, and then we went undefeated the rest of the season, and unfortunately we were unable to make playoffs, but we still were able to fight back and kept that winning streak on into the IBA until unfortunately we had to quit out because of other things. But Hitmontop's a good Intimidate shuffler, also gets Technician, Steadfast, that could help it sweep. as well as just having really good defensive stats, only being weak to psychic and flying. I don't. I swear that's the only two weaknesses of a fighting type. Having 50 HP isn't really the best, but 95 defense and 110 special defense makes it really good for an AV, as well as 70 speed, allowing it to outspeed a lot of things that are potential stealth rock setters, which isn't the best because then you get your rapid spin off before they set up stealth rocks, but nevertheless, you can still rapid spin away rocks, which is always essential. It doesn't have the best special attack stat, but again, looking at its move pool, most of everything it gets is physical attacking, so never will you ever really see it with a special move. I don't even think it gets any special moves. Yeah, it only gets Uproar, Round, Swift, Snore, Twister, Vacuum Wave, and Mud Slap, so this thing's never going to be used specially. Can we stop? There we go. This thing does get agility to boost its speed, to maybe sweep. Close combat, Earthquake hit pretty hard. Gyro Ball if we want to run min speed. Because Yuxi does get Trick Room. We can try to run a Trick Room Hitmontop, and maybe we can put in work with that. We do get Dark type coverage with Pursuit, Rock Slide to hit Flying type, Stone Edge to hit Flying type, Sucker Punch if we need that sort of priority on our team. Toxic, which is really good for trying to take down walls that we can't take with an actual wall breaker, as we don't really have a wall breaker on our team outside of Karen B. Maybe Primarina counts as a wall breaker if we run specs. Aerodactyl can get hit pretty hard, but it doesn't have really the best base attack, as its base attack is only 5 better than Hitmontop's. Excuse me. But on to the next one, Aerodactyl, which is something I really enjoy having because its speed is 150, letting it outspeed everything except Alakazam. Well, it speed ties with Alakazam Mega, and it doesn't outspeed Ninjask. So this pretty much means that we can finally beat Mega Sceptile, we can finally beat things like Mega Lopunny, we can beat things like Mega Beedrill, all stuff we really struggled on last year in the UAPB because we were so slow. Now that we actually have the chance to outspeed them and take them on better, of course we have to watch out for Scarfers now, because Scarf, like electric types, like maybe Scarf Jolteon or something, will be brought because of this. And our ground type isn't really one that wants to switch in on a lot of moves because it's usually running a Focus Sash, and it can't take hits well at all. But we have to watch out for a lot of things like that, and Mega Aerodactyl cannot take hits by itself, especially already getting weakened down by Stealth Rocks. It does get a lot of coverage moves, like Aqua Tail, Dragon Claw, Crunch, Earthquake, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Iron Head, Pursuit, Rock Slide, Stone Edge. Also can Whirlwind, there we go, with that Stealth Rock shuffling. It gets Stealth Rock of its own, so now we have 3 Stealth Rock setters as of this far in the draft. It gets Tailwind to set up maybe potential sweepers like Karen B, Primarina. It gets dual screens as well, but I don't see myself using dual screens on this. Or it might only get Reflect. It does get Rock Polish and Agility, both of the moves that we never may need. Also it gives us a Defogger and a Rapid Spinner with Hitmontop and Mega Aerodactyl. And Mega Aerodactyl did also let us free up 40 extra points in our drafts, so we ended up getting Durant instead of having to draft 2 tier 5s at the end. And maybe we can always use that to trade up for something later in the draft, or drop and maybe pick up a free agency that's better, or better suited for matches to come. It is fairly well on its special side of things, letting it use Fire Blast, Flamethrower to deal with maybe a Skarmory in its way, or like a physically defensive Mon that isn't running enough, like Earth Power for example, and we can't really handle a Toxapex because we have Earthquake. We can try to hit it from the special side of things. I don't really know what else to say about this Mon, except I really like its speed. I mean, it has to run a Mega Aerodactyl Stone, and we can't abuse anything other than Tough Claws, unless we only switch in for that additional turn of pressure. We can't use a Nerve to stop like a Charty Berry or a Flying Berry or any sort of berry because we have to Mega Evolve on our first turn. So that is kind of unfortunate. Alright, but on to our next one, we have Exurgatry, which is something very, it's just really strong with 173 base special attack, which I think might be the highest special attack in the game outside of Mega Alakazam. So that is really good to have. I mean, Mega Alakazam is uh, only owned by one person. It also speed size with our Mega Aerodactyl. So maybe Mega Alakazam puts a hurting in our team. We don't have a dark type on our team either. So that's definitely something really scary to our team, just base stat wise. I was trying to fidget around a way to make my speed higher than my special attack so we could tail glow and then get boosted in our speed. But it seems Game Freak has already thought that one out and made it where it is completely impossible to get your speed higher than your special attack without a Choice Scarf. Uh, and even trying to rig up like a lower level, I can't get it to work at all. So, unfortunately, none of that really works. But again, a Choice Scarf always works. Being able to use Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot for a heavy water Pokemon, Signal Beam for dark types, Thunderbolt for strong stab, Volt Switch letting us Volt turn between Uxie and Executree. I think it's a solid Volt turning core as well. Maybe a Choice Specs Executree would just put in a lot of damage. I wonder how much damage that would actually do if we were max 31 here and we were boosting speed, boosting nature 489 times 1.5. It's actually really high if you think about it. Can't do math in my head that well. Maybe I didn't even do the math on Tangrowth. Right. I think I just doubled Tangrowth instead of times zoom by 1.5. I'm not the best at math, not gonna lie. But as you can see, this thing is just a really incredible special attack stat, and with the Choice Specs, actually lets it hit harder than Mega Alakazam because Mega Alakazam cannot hold an item. We can actually abuse opposing electric terrain. I forget what his name. Crimson, I think, has Tapu Koko, and we can use his electric terrain against him, allowing us to use Thunderbolt under that electric terrain. Maybe Choice Scarf to outspeed it and hit it with HP Poison or something of the sort. I don't even think we outspeed it. Oh, we do outspeed it with a Choice Scarf, but it's definitely something I wanted to toy around with. It's just a really cool looking Pokemon, and I remember when I first got it in Sun and Moon, I was like, this is definitely a mon worth a Choice Scarf. And I put that thing in, and it put in so much work in pre-bank. The only thing really stopping it was the Mega or Alola Marowak with Lightning Rod, and I didn't really have anything to hit it with outside of like Dazzling Gleam or Energy Ball. So HP Ground was something you had to run on for a while, especially against opposing Executrees. But enough about pre-bank metagame because that didn't really last that long. But on to our next mon. So we have Salazzle up next, a mon that is kind of like the other special mons I have on my team, mainly versed in special attack and speed. More of a setup sweeper kind of mon. Has some sort of defensive presence, but not really. Has Dragon Tail if I want to shuffle around some things. It does get Dragon Pulse, Fire Blast, Flamethrower. Ooh, what am I doing? Just gave myself 3 HP fire. I guess I shouldn't be worried about it, but does get things like knockoff, leash life if I want to run physical attacking. Gets like Poison Jab, Shadow Claw if I want to still go on the physical side. Gets Sledge Wave, Sledge Bomb for its stabs, poison moves. Has a really nice ability. Allows me to poison anything regardless of its typing. So if a Registeel comes in, we can Toxic that. Toxapex comes in, we can Toxic that. We can pretty much Toxic anything like the ability says. So we don't have to worry about predicting anything to come in. And of course Steel types aren't even going to want to come in when you're part fire. Which is why I don't think Salazzle should have gotten the ability, only because no Steel type is switching into a Salazzle, unless you're just not weak to fire, I guess. But like maybe Empoleon switches in to Salazzle. But then again, we should have Thunderbolt in this thing right now, Earth Power now. So we don't really have much to deal with anything like that. We do get Encore, I guess. Rest. Substitute, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic. Really, that's about the only things that would be considered disable as well as like support, I guess, but not really. It's just one of those mons where I can throw a Scarf on, throw a Specs on, or figure out some sort of set to handle things that maybe Primarina can't handle, or Yuxi can't handle, or Exurgatry can't handle, and then this will be my go-to mon for that. Next up, we do have Durant, though. A mon that is kind of mid-road. I wanted to get a Steel type late, like I did with Registeel, but I didn't want to get one weak to Earthquake because then I would have drafted 3 mons in a row weak to Earthquake. I like having the Bug type just because I don't have any other Bug stab. The rest of my team, not many mons get Bug, maybe Signal Beam, but that's it really. I wanted another physical attacker as well since I only have Aerodactyl, Hitmontop, Uxie if I run physical attacking, Tangrowth if I run physical attacking, Dugtrio, and Kyurem. And I know it sounds like a lot of Pokemon, but I think I wanted more of a balance between my Pokemon, so I didn't bring special every week, and that would let his walls, or whoever I'm facing walls, specifically counter the special defense, well, the special attacking side. Pretty much what with this pick, the hustle's really nice. I can memento into it, get a home clause up for free, raise my accuracy, and start X-Scissoring away. I also get rock polish to boost my speed, so if I want to rock polish home clause and just sweep away with that. I also get rock polish, agility, baton pass. I can baton pass speed into Exurgatry, who can tail glow up and sweep from there, because I believe speed passing alone is legal. Excuse me, as well as Iron Head for stab, steel moves. I also get things like return to hit just solid normal, so I can hit pretty much everything with a neutral hit. I also get Stone Edge to deal with Moltres, as well as other flying fire types, or just fire and flying types alone. Superpower to deal with opposing steel types, as well as rock types if I don't want to go for Iron Head. I don't know. But I just have all this lot of coverage. Superpower also lets me hit, well, I have dark types covered with bug moves, but maybe it's a certain typing, I don't know. Anyways, we can go look at what items it can hold. I guess we could run leftovers on it if we really needed to, if we were running a dual setup set. Life Orb, leftovers, choice band, it can run a lot of stuff. I guess Assault Vest could work in some senses. I know Kartana can run Assault Vest in VGC, and it has a lower SPDF stat than Durant by, I believe it's 17, so maybe it can work with Durant. I also get Skill Swap. Maybe I can Skill Swap Truant, like Infestation, Skill Swap. Oh, I don't get Infestation, even though I'm a Bug type. But like I can Infestate, or I can't Infestate, but I can Skill Swap. I don't even get Skill Swap. What is it? Entrainment? Yeah, I can entrain Hustle, or not Hustle, Truant onto another Mon, and then they're trapped in there, or however I get it to work. The other Mon has Truant, and I can switch out, and they're stuck with the Truant Mon. Maybe I can switch into Dugtrio, and then they're stuck with Truant. I guess that would kind of work, because then they'd be trapped. But if they don't switch, I don't know. I don't even know how I could get it to work. Maybe on something like their last Pokemon. Anyways, before I start rambling on about things that would never work, let's get on to the final Mon. A Mon that I wanted to get Spiritomb, but I didn't have enough points, or a Tier 5. Tier 5 Steel types were kind of not really there that I really wanted. So I had to go with Dusclops over Spiritomb. Spiritomb would have given me that Dark typing, which would have helped me switch into Psychic type attacks. That's Salazzle and Hitmontop are weak to. So my only prime switch into Psychic right now is Durant, Uxie, and if Dusclops is physical or special or defensive compared to their Psychic type user. He does get Frisk, which is nice for finding out items, because if you don't know something's Scarfed, you don't know something is like Specs, Z-move. Just finding out what item they have is really nice to do, especially in league-based, because if you have Ice Fang and Stone Edge on Aerodactyl, and you know they're carrying the Ice Berry, you can, like the Yachi Berry, you can hit them with a Stone Edge instead of them eating their Ice Berry and it doing less damage than the Stone Edge. But Pressure's also nice, so we get in sort of a PP stall with opposing Recover Mon, like sub Calm Mind set, and we can Calm Mind sub up next to them. We also get Destiny Bond, Haze for opposing Calm Mind setters, Swords Dancers. We get a lot of coverage actually, like Shadow Sneak, Shadow Punch, Rock Slide, Pursuit, Power Up Punch if we want to start boosting attack,
We also get Calm Mind for boosting special attack, Power Up Punch for boosting attack. We also get, do we get a speed boosting move? I don't think we do, but we also get Pain Split to heal up outside of rest. So that's kind of good because the last bulky mon that I had was Registeel, who was well versed in both defense and special defense and had no recovery outside of rest. So having Pain Split's kind of nice coming in on a mon that's fully HP'd, or fully, how do I say that? Fully recovered, I guess, has max HP, is what I was trying to say. We can split our HP stat and hopefully recover a lot more HP. We also get Nightshade just for consistent 100 damage, kind of like Seismic Toss, but for ghosts. We also do, we get Seismic Toss as well, if we don't want to run Nightshade, I don't know. We also get Trick, which we can give someone like an Eviolite, because that'll be our prime item, which actually does boost their defenses by a lot. Maybe we can give someone like a Flame Orb or something instead of using Will-O-Wisp. We also get Toxic, Taunt, Substitute, Sleep Talk if we're resting, Ice Punch, Ice Beam to handle like Landorus or something. So we do have a lot of things that we can use on this mon, and I just really like it. It was pretty much my choice over Registeel, over Spiritomb, because I felt like it had more to it. Although I couldn't get Spiritomb anyway, and I drafted Spiritomb initially until I realized that it didn't fit what I needed on my team, so I had to change it. But Dusclops does seem to play the role fairly well, and I'm really excited to use it. Probably won't take it to every game just because it's the tier 5 mon, excuse me, or just might not bring it because it doesn't work in a certain matchup. But hopefully with everything going on this week, I can play my match I don't even know how to say that word. No, not even gonna try. Sooner than later, because I have practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Then I have a football game on Friday as well. Then I have a whole 8 to 4 day on Saturday, and a national competition on Sunday. So it's gonna be a huge week. I'm gonna have to start prepping now for week 1, and the only time I get a chance to record is either Thursday or Tuesday or Thursday, and I probably won't even get time Thursday. So hopefully that works with other people's schedules. I kind of hate if week 1 has to be a delay or week 1 has to be a forfeit, but we'll see when we get there. I don't even know when I can get this video up, to be honest. Everything's been getting kind of crazy. I'm still trying to finish up the remainder of the season. So far we only have 2 weeks left, and then I can finally get back into the group of everything. I know I said I was back, but the UAPB was starting and I couldn't just say no, because I mean I had 2 weeks left. I felt like I could manage it. It is getting kind of hard, but I'm gonna try my best to do it. Hopefully it won't show up in the way I prep or the way I play. So yeah, I believe our first week 1 matchup is against Old Man Sup and the Pittsburgh Piratas. His team is definitely looking more scary than it did last time we played. I feel like our matchup is still the same against his team, just the way it matches up, that I might have the advantage over him. But I haven't gotten really too into things. It does look a little bit like last season, but if you haven't seen his post-draft analysis, or if he hasn't even done one yet, check it out, or go on the doc and check out his team, because I don't want to talk about his team for him. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you have any nickname ideas for any of these Pokemon, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm horrible with nicknames and I'll probably give them like the worst nicknames ever. But if you have any ideas for me, let me know. That pretty much wraps it up for me. I am the Mighty Gliscor, the coach of your New York Gliscors, and I will catch you guys later.